Good morning. This is Pastor Zach Anderson with the Goodland United Methodist Church with the morning devotion for Thursday, October 5th. Today I'll be reading from Ephesians chapter 4, verses 1 through 6. I, therefore, the prisoner in the Lord, beg you to lead a life worthy of the calling to which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, making every effort to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to the one hope of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in all. I'm going to read a reflection called Traveling Without a Map from Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. Now, theology is like the map. Merely learning and thinking about the Christian doctrines, if you stop there, is less real and less exciting than the sort of thing my friend got in the desert. Doctrines are not God, they are only a kind of map. But the map is based on the experience of hundreds of people who really were in touch with God. Experiences compared with any thrills or pious feelings you and I are likely to get on our own are very elementary and very confused. And secondly, if you want to get any further, you must use the map. You see, what happened to the man in the desert may have been real and was certainly exciting, but nothing comes of it. It leads nowhere. There's nothing to do about it. In fact, that is just why a vague religion that's all about feeling God and nature and so on is so attractive. It's all thrills and no work, like watching the waves from the beach. But you'll not get to Newfoundland by studying the Atlantic that way. And you'll not get to eternal life by simply feeling the presence of God in flowers or music. Neither will you get anywhere by looking at maps without going to sea. Nor will you be very safe if you go to sea without a map. The verse from Ephesians and this reading from C.S. Lewis had me thinking about the events of this past week and the tragedy that's all around us. What is our response as Christians? How do we work to create a better world? A world that doesn't see violence and bloodshed so often, that doesn't see hatred lived out day in and day out. And then I look to these first words in Ephesians 4, that we are to lead a life worthy of the calling which we have been called, and to do it with humility and gentleness, with patience, that we bear one another in love, and making an effort, every effort, to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. So many things separate us by denominations and traditions and things like that, and they all give us a roadmap to God. But we have one common unity, one body and one Spirit, that we are to live out, that we are to embrace and experience. The relationship that we build with one another, with God, strengthens our communities, strengthens our world. We are called to a high calling, one that's to be light bearers, one that is to bring about peace in God's world. I think the best response to any times of tragedy, of violence, is for us to be bound together, to be in prayer, to be in community, to do the work of God with humility, with patience, and bearing one another in love. That's how we can move forward. That's how our faith is lived out, not just good feelings and great experiences, but doing the hard work of creating peace and love in the world. Have a blessed day.